Hello, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I'm Christy.
And I'm Charla. Today we're going to be making double stuffed baked potatoes. This is something Christy's done before, although not for the freezer, right?
Not for the freezer, and it's been a while, but I've done it before.
And I've never done it before for the freezer or not. But one of the things we get asked about a lot is potatoes, and potatoes don't freeze well in general. But there are a few exceptions. So if you cook the potatoes, we've got that amazing garlic mashed potato recipe that you can make that works well. Or if they're like already frozen, like tater tots or hash browns, those work. So because these are cooked and then we're freezing them, in theory they should work. When I was growing up, I always ate the Costco double stuffed baked potatoes that went like from freezer to microwave. So I don't see any reason why ours shouldn't. Do you think?
We're as good as Costco.
We're better than Costco.
We're better than Costco.
So yeah, we're just gonna take you through the process and we're gonna get started.
What should we tell them about our potatoes here?
So we've already scrubbed the potatoes and left the skin on. An important step here is that you need to dry them really well. And that's important because you want crispy skin. You won't get crispy skin if they're still wet from your scrubbing.
That's true. And beyond that, I think everything else will kind of come as we go along.
We're going to try 3 different fillings today just to make it extra fun. So you'll have to wait and see what those are. We're gonna make you watch further in the video to see what those are. Also because we have 4 options and we haven't decided which 3 of the 4 we're gonna do. That's the truth. Okay, we've lined a baking sheet with foil. We're gonna put it in a 400-degree oven. Oh, we're gonna poke these with a fork first.
Have you ever had a potato blow up?
No.
They say that's why it's to let the steam escape. Can I tell you something else I learned? Here's a little tip for you. When you have a foil wrapped potato, you poke the holes, you see them in grocery stores sometimes, or typically that's how I was always taught to bake a potato, is to poke the holes and then wrap it in foil. But do you know what's happening when you wrap it in foil? You're then steaming the potato. When you bake the potato open like this, and you can even put them directly on your oven rack if you're okay with that. They'll have a bit of oil and salt on it. But if you put them right on your oven rack or put them in like this without the foil surrounding them, they're going to bake and the inside is going to be light and fluffy instead of steamed and clumpy.
Very good tip. I learned this from Christy for doing baked potatoes, and so now when I do my baked potatoes, I don't do them in foil anymore, and I do put them directly on my oven rack.
And you get that crispy skin, and it does really make a difference. It's nice. Just try it and you'll wow your friends at your next. We did it at a potluck. That's where you had it at my house.
Yes,
it was at a potluck.
Yep.
And I realized everybody brought meat and nobody brought any sort of sides. And I had a bunch of potatoes, so I threw them in my oven, and I got them out there in time to have our potluck buffet, and
it was delicious.
It was delicious, and the potatoes
Best
worked
baked
out really
potato.
good.
She also uses that really coarse salt.
Kosher salt
Yeah.
or coarse salt.
And so it was a really, really good baked potato. Good enough, memorable enough that I asked her what her secret was. So we are brushing these with olive oil. We're gonna salt and pepper both sides. We're gonna obviously olive oil all around the potato after we poke it with a fork. And then those are going in the oven for, says 45 to 60 minutes, but up to 75 minutes depending on the size of your potatoes.
These are pretty even.
Yeah, and they're not giant and they're not tiny, so probably more like 60.
I think we can get away with 60.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you can turn your oven way down to 300 and roast them for like 2 hours if you want. And that really gets crispy skin and really lets the steam out.
Oh, she's got all the tricks.
But we're going to do this recipe today.
Yes.
And we're going to show them how to poke. The only reason why, I'm going to show you how to poke a potato, and it sounds dumb to show you how to poke a potato, but I remember watching a friend in college, like, lethally stab, and like, she got as deep as she could, and it was like an effort to do these potatoes, and I'm like, good grief, lady. That's all you need. You just need to go around the potato, right? And I probably was, I regret it because I think I came off a little bit know-it-all-ish, but we're here, we're friends, I can tell you about this, but there's a way to do it, and if it's easier than the way you're doing it, you should know how to do that.
Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna poke all these potatoes. We'll speed that part of the video up for you because I know some of you have got busy lives and you know you don't want to watch us poke every single potato. So our potatoes are cooked and we've let them cool for about like 12 to 15 minutes just so that we can handle them.
Mm-hmm. And in our directions, I noticed that it said the warm whipping cream. We've converted it. It used to say warm milk, but we know that milk products do better than actual milk when you're coming to freezing things. I think it says warm because these are intended to be served right away. And
That's
we're
possible.
not. We are putting these in the freezer. We do not need to have warm milk or warm whipping cream because we are going to put these right in the freezer. So I deduced it.
Yes.
Inspector Christie is on the job.
We've got this going. We are going to take these and slice them lengthwise.
There we go.
We've got 3 bowls on the go because we're doing 3 different mixtures. And you're gonna scoop out the insides, but you're gonna leave a tiny little bit of the cooked potato on the inside edge because you don't want it to be too thin or you won't be able to work with it.
Like a rim.
Yeah.
Potato.
So now here's the next part, and we're gonna do this and then we'll fast forward this process so you don't have to like painfully watch us do this for every potato. But now that it's scooped and got the little rim and all nice, we're gonna bake just the empties for 10 minutes to get them nice and crisp before we fill them. And the nice thing is that while they bake, we can be mixing together the fillings. So it's all gonna work. It's gonna be lovely.
It'll be great.
We had lunch while we were waiting for these to bake. So we've been using our time just for other things. Anyway, here we go. All right, now in each bowl, we're going to add a 1/4 cup melted butter. We're going to add 1/3 cup of whipping cream, 1/2 cup of sour cream. Sour cream, again, freezes really well, even though it's a milk product, but it's not milk. So as long as it's not milk, it's all good. Chives. Well, no, that's not true. I take that back. We're gonna mix those other things, but not the chives, because that only goes in the one that has the bacon and the green onions and the cheddar cheese. So that's gonna be more of like a classic
Big
double
potato.
stuffed potato. And then we've got some variations that we're bringing you. So in that classic one, we are also adding pepper, paprika, and a pinch of cayenne.
The other ones, buffalo chicken, blue cheese, and cheddar is gonna go on the second one. Let's do that one in the red one because the buffalo.
Ooh, okay.
And that can be the traditional.
Yep.
And then in the last one, get ready for it. It's a Tex-Mex. It's black beans, corn, and salsa. A little bit of taco seasoning. We have to get the salsa out.
It's going to be so good.
It's gonna be so good.
So we'll do this one. Well,
We have to mash them.
We're just gonna go.
We're gonna use the mixer today to make them really creamy because I always hear Gordon Ramsay, add some milk to that and make those potatoes sexy. It's a terrible, terrible impression, but pretty close. And so we're gonna have sexy mashed potatoes to put into our
Double
shells.
stuffed thingies.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be great. Okay, let's go.
Carry on. Okay, so we have this handy tool. It's from Pampered Chef. It's really awesome. You can fill up sour cream for 1.5 cups, but I wasn't thinking of that when I was doing, 1/2 cup in each. So I'm gonna see if I can take it from 1.5 to 1.
These
1.5.
beautiful
Whoop.
fresh chives. Whoa, they're grown in my garden back there, and I love that garden so much. Anyway, Oh, I should whip this before I add like the chives and the bacon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop.
Yep.
Well, mash it first.
Okay.
Do you have a masher?
Yeah, in my drawer. Let me grab it.
She's got all the good stuff, all the tools.
I do have all the tools.
Oh, that's your pepper chef mixing masher.
I love this masher. It is like,
I haven't seen that
I
for a
know
long
it's
time.
circles, but it works really well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
So something exciting in Charlotte's kitchen is who thinks to put a plug right in the middle of your island? But it's very handy because now we can just plug this in. Am I even going the right way? Trade you. You can take it over there.
Okay.
All right. It's gonna get a little noisy in here.
Buffalo chicken.
This is the blue one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, you were supposed to. It's okay. Oh,
Yeah.
we can't even like swap it out with movie magic. It's
No.
okay. This one's gonna be blue cheese
sad.
because it's blue.
I pretty much always have buffalo chicken in my freezer because it's awesome to have for putting on top of nachos or in quesadillas. Mostly I use it in quesadillas.
You tell me when. A little more?
A little more.
And we're dating this a bit because we're going to tell you some live, true events that are happening today. There's a big hockey game where we're from. And it's a big hockey game. And you're having a hockey watch party tonight. And who doesn't love buffalo chicken dip at a hockey watch party? Still keep going?
No,
Or should we mix it around first?
So we're putting blue cheese in here, but yeah, at my hockey watch party tonight, we're gonna have a nacho bar.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that, we're gonna take the leftovers of the black beans and the corn, and I'm gonna stir in some chili powder and cumin and green chilies. And that goes really well on top of nachos. A little bit of lime juice in there too. Anyway, do that sometimes. And then we're gonna have the buffalo chicken that people can put on their nachos.
You can't smell this, but I can. The blue cheese is happening right now, and it smells so good with the buffalo chicken dip. Okay, good. I don't know if blue cheese smells good. It smells fragrant,
It smells
pungent.
right.
It smells right. It does smell really good.
So there's that. Well, I'm gonna have to wash my hands now, but there you go.
Thank you. I will mix. And what else was going in this one?
Cheddar cheese, which I have to get. I'm just gonna shred cheese directly in these. Could have done that before, prepped things, but we're just doing things on the fly today.
Mm-hmm.
And at my hockey watch party, we might also have some double stuffed baked potatoes if not all of these make it into the freezer. So our shells are out of the oven now,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna get ready to fill them
Does that
here.
look about right to you?
Yep.
Okay. And
Taco
It-
seasoning, salsa.
I have it. Do you have any cilantro?
Oh, I think I just got rid of it.
No cilantro.
Maybe.
That would have been good. Oh well. You could chop it with fresh cilantro if you wanted to. This one's gonna be very orange.
And for the day of cooking, you'll want some more shredded cheese to put on top if you want.
Definitely.
I'm gonna put more in until it looks right. And then the salsa. We should invent a baked potato that has Worcestershire sauce in it. I've been practicing, can you tell? We get a lot of comments about how we say Worcestershire. So now I'm gonna try throw it into every video. What would go good in our Worcestershire potatoes?
I don't know, but I do know that we were debating today about making some broccoli cheddar
Mm-hmm.
potatoes. And if you do that, you either have to cook your broccoli ahead or you have to cut your broccoli into teeny tiny little florets so that they'll bake with the potatoes in the oven. Otherwise, your broccoli is going to be too crunchy. So that's my tip for you for that. And then if you did that, you would just want to add some pepper, the cheddar, of course, and then top it with some extra cheddar and the broccoli and whip it all up in your potato mixture.
And then you sprinkle it with Worcestershire. I'm not making fun of you. I've really been practicing at home. I'm being completely not sarcastic. Okay.
She has been practicing a lot.
This one is the corn and black bean salsa. This one is the beautiful buffalo chicken and blue cheese.
Now, if you wanted, you could add some chicken into the one with the corn and black beans and taco seasoning and salsa and all that. And I feel like that one could pretty much be a meal in itself, like a lunch anyway. Whether you did it vegetarian or with meat, could be a meal. So there you go.
So now we're going to fill them?
We're going to fill them.
We had talked about if we were going to get fancy with a piping bag. You can do that. We could put each of these into a piping bag or a Ziploc bag. You cut off the tip and load your potato with that. But we are not fancy. We want you to feel like you don't need to be fancy either. We can just spoon it in and it's going to be great.
You can do these at home. We don't want you to feel like you have to have a professional kitchen or...
We didn't put salt and pepper in anything. Oh, you maybe did because you had a different one.
I did.
Okay, she did. She's always on top of it. It's good. So I have a little bit left in the bowl. I'm going to just even it out and add it back into these potatoes and heat them up a bit. I don't want to put them in the freezer. I want to eat them right now.
We have to tell you something very important.
Very important.
She doesn't know what it is yet. But it's very important. Okay, so these, you're gonna take this tray and once these are cooled more, because you don't want to overload your freezer. One of our watchers taught me this. I can't believe I didn't know, but you don't want to put hot stuff in your freezer because it overworks your freezer. So wait for it to cool and then put the tray in your freezer. You're gonna freeze it so that they're solid, and then you're gonna transfer them into freezer bags. And then when you take them out, you can take them out one at a time or all at once. You can reheat them in the microwave or in the oven. You can top them with some extra cheese at that point.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Because I was always putting like the waffles and stuff, I would just make them, put them on the cookie sheet, and then you have to freeze them flat first, and I would put them in like when they were still warm. But it's not good because it overworks your freezer.
And it might be condensation in there too, so that's two different parts of your freezer that is working.
Totally.
But waffles would cool down pretty quick.
Yeah.
Another tip, totally unrelated to any of this, if you have cooked rice and you need to cool it down to make chicken fried rice or rice pudding or something, and it's sometimes nicer to work from cold rice, you lay it out on a cookie sheet and put it in your freezer. It will cool faster because it's in a thin layer.
Very smart.
Kitchen tips from Christy's mom is where that one came from.
Kitchen tips with Christy.
My mom's probably forgot more about cooking than I'll ever know.
Now you messed with my pattern. Oh my goodness.
If you can't have fun,
battling out with
your bestie making double baked potatoes.
What the heck are we doing
What?
here?
Look at that one. That's a rock star. That's way too big.
These
Sorry.
are all giant. I feel like...
Well, we don't want to get it out and then be all like, what a piddly little potato skin, right? They need to be like impressive. When you go to the keg and they bring the one where they have the big piping bag and it's fancy, they even use a fancy tip on the one. Probably the Costco ones too.
Yeah.
You know, they're impressive.
All right, well, we're making impressive potatoes.
And we added a lot of stuff to these. Like, we added a lot of stuff to these. We're making a whole potato out of what was once a half potato.
That's true. Okay.
Math.
These are beautiful.
These are great. Isn't that gorgeous?
They're gorgeous. You can find the recipe for these in the Freezer Meals 101 Club. We will put the link for that down below. There's a lot of great stuff in there. And
these are going to be awesome. I think I got these a little soupy. They're going to be okay. They're going to be great. Look at those.
Now you could swap out the salsa for the whipping cream because the salsa is going to create like the moisture.
Some of the sauce, maybe.
So for next time.
For next time. We learned something new.
We're always learning. We're going to put a video right there that has other freezer side dishes in it. This is the first time we're trying this freezer side dish, but I know these are going to be awesome to have.
Thanks for joining us today, and happy cooking!